Welcome into a special signing day edition of the Mountain West Blitz. I'm Jesse Kurtz in the Mountain West Network studio. The future stars of Mountain West football signed letters of intent on Wednesday, February 3rd. And like we do each year, we're going to highlight some of those top signees with our recruiting expert, Allen Trieu of Scout.com. Before we look ahead, let's look back at 2014 and 2015. Allen Trieu hit a few home runs with his top signees from those particular years. His top five from 2014 included Rashad Penny, who went on to win the 2014 Mountain West Special Teams Player of the Year Award, along with Micah Holder, who led San Diego State in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns last season, and also Maurice McKnight, who finished second in total tackles for San Jose State in 2015. Last year, two of Allen's top recruits ended up starting at quarterback for his team as a true freshman. Chason Virgil from Fresno State before an injury ended his year, and Brett Rippon, who went on to win the Mountain West Freshman of the Year and was the first team all-conference quarterback. Well, there certainly were some impact players on that list. Two guys in 2 years that have gone on to win Players of the Year awards in the Mountain West. I would say you probably do your homework and do it very well, my friend.
I tried. I want to say Brett Rippon was kind of an obvious one, an easy one, so maybe I shouldn't take too much credit for that, but I'm glad that a few of these have turned out and I can still come back and tell you about some of the next guys.
I get to give you credit for it, so well done on your part. All right, let's get down to business here on the class of 2016. We'll count them down as we have in the past, your top signees in the Mountain West from 5 down to number 1. Let's start with your number 5 signee in the Mountain West. Boise State had the top offense in the Mountain West in 2015. They ranked number 1 in scoring offense, number 1 in passing offense, and total offense. However, they did rank 7th in the league in rushing offense, but your number 5 signee might help them in that category going forward.
Oh, I think he will. That's Alexander Madison, a 6-foot, 200-pound running back, so he has the size to come in and possibly compete right away. You mentioned them being highly ranked in scoring offense. Well, this is a kid that found the end zone 48 times in the last 2 seasons, 53 times in his entire career, rushed for over 2,000 yards as both a junior and a senior, so highly productive guy, and I think he's going to continue being productive in college. He should bring up that number 7 rushing attack.
No question, also won a league title in wrestling and has a grade point average of 4.8. All things that have Brian Harsin excited about this guy.
A wonderful personality, a guy that really understands, I believe, what we're trying to accomplish here when it comes to the total package. It's not just football, it's who you are off the field, it's who you are in that classroom, and he really just embodies all those things.
Alexander Madison, the running back out of San Bernardino, California, headed to Boise State. We're going to stay in Boise for your number 4 recruit in the Mountain West, and we're going to stay on the offensive side of the football. Mountain West Freshman of the Year quarterback Brett Rippon sounds like he's got a brand new big-time playmaker to throw the football to.
Yeah, he will, with Cedric Wilson Jr., a junior college guy, so he should come in ready to play. He's not coming right out of high school like some of the other guys coming in. He's already 6'3", 180 pounds, so he has the size to compete. He's an athlete. He's been listed as an athlete. He's played some quarterback. I think it's going to be wide receiver, like his father, Cedric Wilson Sr. I'm a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I remember his dad was actually a high school quarterback himself, made the transition to receiver. I think he's going to follow in his dad's footsteps, and Boise got him over Virginia Tech, so a really nice pickup for them.
Wilson was very productive at the junior college level, as you alluded to. He ranked 3rd in the nation in receiving yards per game and was also an All-American. But it's that on-field, in-game experience that these Boise State coaches really love.
You want those guys with a little bit of experience at the college level to come in and really be immediate impact players. That's what we hope to recruit, and that's what we want. And we do think those guys are going to be able to help us out next year.
Cedric Wilson from Memphis, Tennessee, headed to Boise State. The Broncos have the number 4 and number 5 recruits, according to Allen Trieu. But New Mexico has landed his number 3 recruit in the Mountain West, and it looks like the rich keep getting richer, at least when it comes to the running back position. New Mexico ranked 2nd in the league in 2015 in rushing yards per game. They also had 2 running backs who rushed for at least 860 yards on the season. It sounds like they have another big-time playmaker coming to Albuquerque, and he comes from the state of California.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with the word playmaker. Davon Vigilant, kid isn't as big maybe as some of the other backs coming into the conference, about 5'7", but can make a lot of things happen in the open field, can play some slot, can catch the ball out of the backfield, might even be a return man at some point, rushed for over 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns as a senior. And when you look at the other schools that were on him, Michigan had offered at one point, looked like they were going to get him out for an official visit. Washington, Utah, some of these other programs that were recruiting him, a really nice pickup for New Mexico.
Yeah, scored 13 rushing touchdowns, had 5 100-yard games, and you mentioned it. Some of the biggest programs in America were after this guy, and Bob Davie can't wait to get him down to Albuquerque and insert him into this run-first offense.
Came in for the bowl practice, loved the place, felt he fit our offense, committed to us early and shut it down. And I'm really impressed that he was able to stick with it for the last 4 weeks like he did. But very highly recruited player, Casey Carrier-like.
Devon Vigilant from Downey, California is the number 3 recruit in the Mountain West, according to Scout.com. Now moving on to number 2. 2 years ago, Colorado State had the Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year in Garrett Grayson, who now, of course, plays with the New Orleans Saints. The Rams may have found their quarterback of the future, and Mike Bobo went down to South Carolina, his old stomping grounds, to find your number 2 recruit.
You don't see a whole lot of kids from the Southeast come up and play in the Mountain West, but Colin Hill, a quarterback, is going to come up 6'4", so he's got big size, a great arm. Mike Bobo knows how to develop quarterbacks. He's done it before in the past. I think this kid has an extremely bright future, especially under his tutelage. He was a top 25 quarterback in the country on Scout, and I think he's going to be the quarterback of the future there for the Rams.
Yeah, 2-time All-State selection, led his team to the South Carolina State Championship game, and Mike Bobo says he's had his eye on this kid for a long time, dating back to his days as a coach at the University of Georgia.
I watched his whole junior career, his tapes, every game. He came to a couple games, and he was a guy that we were actively recruiting. We hadn't offered. Then I got the job here at Colorado State. He was a guy we just kept in contact with.
Colin Hill from Moore, South Carolina is headed to Fort Collins to be a Ram. He's the number 2 signee in the Mountain West. Time to move on to number 1. Drum roll, please. The number 1 signee in the Mountain West had offers from many of the Pac-12 schools. He's decided, though, to stay home and play for the defending champion in the Mountain West. He'll be an Aztec.
Yeah, Troy Cassidy, a linebacker, 6'3", 215 pounds, was productive in high school, knows for the football, extremely aggressive kid, but beyond those accolades, like he said, I really could just read off his offer list to you, and that'll tell you what kind of player he was. Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, Washington State. So for San Diego State to keep that kid at home and out of the Pac-12, a tremendous get for them. I think he's going to be a great player.
Now, there's no doubt Cassidy played his best during some of the biggest moments of his career, returned a interception 70 yards for a touchdown, helping lead his team to a league championship. As it relates to San Diego State, the Aztecs coming off a championship win, that helped open the door for Rocky Long and company to some big-time athletes. But the head coach credits his current players as the guys who helped seal the deal.
They believe in how we do things around here, and so they're going to get like kids. So the kids coming into the program know what to expect. They get here, they most of the time have the same attitude about things, and the program gets better and stronger because the talent level is improving, but they come in with the right attitude. They're not coming in with false expectations.
Troy Cassidy, the number 1 recruit in the Mountain West, according to Allen Trieu of Scout.com. You can follow Allen Trieu on Twitter at Allen Trieu, A-L-L-E-N, Trieu, T-R-I-E-U, on Twitter. Allen, appreciate your insight. I know it's been a very busy time, but you always nail it right on the head, and appreciate you making time for us here on the Mountain West Network.
Never a problem. Thank you for having me.
That's Allen Trieu of Scout.com. The class of 2016 is signed, sealed, and delivered. Spring football now right around the corner. From the Mountain West Network studio, I'm Jesse Kurtz.